Assalamualaikum to Dr. Salma. Our group will be present about the QDA article about the quantitative descriptive analysis and acceptance testing of yogurt with no added sugar.
The problem statement regarding this study are the growing awareness of the risk for developing diseases such as obesity and diabetes which associated with consumption of diets rich in fats and sugars regarding the popular Greek yogurt, propelling the demand for versions with a reduction, elimination and or substitution of these components. For the objective, it is aimed to develop and evaluate formulating of Greek yogurt flavored with substitution of sucrose with conditioned sweetener and to characterize the sensory profile of the products, also the effect of their characteristics, function of their time in storage.
The sample they use in this article is a Greek flavored yogurt with the fruit of frozen article and mangaba pulps. For the sample condition, the yogurt will be stored for 7 and 28 days in a temperature of 4 and 8 degrees Celsius. For sample preparation, the Greek yogurt will be made from the UHT milk and the 2.5% of the powdered skim milk. The milk will undergo the homogenization process, heat treatment process and the fermentation to obtain the Greek yogurt. And the Greek yogurt will be added with the sucralose and 5% of article and mangaba pulps. The Greek yogurt will be stored at 4% at the BOD fermentation chamber until the time of analysis.
For panel screening with 30 panelists, a pair comparison test was run and 25 panelists were chosen. For the accepted and purchase intent test, 120 regular consumers of yogurt were invited to perform the effective test. With each triangle test and sequential analysis, 12 panelists were pre-selected. 3 training sessions were performed with the panelists, during which the reference samples selected for the study were provided to form sensory memory so that the score of the panelists will be in the same range on the scale. The form prepared with the intensity scales for the defined descriptor were also used during the training. The training ended only after the panelists had no difficulties in evaluating the sample.
Sensory attributes and scale. These are 5 attributes related with appearance. Color of article, which is the brownish white color. Color of mangaba, which is the greenish white color. Lightness, apparent viscosity, presence of particles. Next is attributes related with aroma. Yogurt aroma, article aroma, and mangaba aroma. Then the attributes related with texture. Particles, creaminess, and fullness. Lastly, the attributes related with flavor. Astringency, sweetness, bitterness, acidity, article flavor, mangaba flavor, yogurt flavor. A 9 cm unstructured hidden scale is used, starting with scale 1 for dislike extremely and ending with scale 9 for like extremely.
For method part A, start by prepare the Greek yogurt. The first step to prepare Greek yogurt is by follow-up of fermentation by monitor the pH and the acidity of Greek yogurt. Next, the extract is prepared to determine the total phenolic compound. Third step is using a texture profile analysis and QDA test was performed. The fifth step is pre-selection of the sensory panelists by using pair comparison test and triangle different test. Next step are survey of descriptor and training of the panelists. Eighth step is analysis of the sample. Ninth step is acceptance and purchase intention test. Lastly, the assisted 7.7 beta software was used for statistical analysis.
Next is the important findings of this article. The figure below shows a sensory profile of Greek article yogurt samples after storage for 7 or 28 days. As you all can see, the attribute of fullness, creaminess and viscosity shows high intensity with a range of 6.45 to 7.59 points. In terms of color, this yogurt considered significantly greater lightness when stored for 7 days rather than 28 days. This also indicates the presence of less shiny and have a less intense color. And lastly, the color which is related with the presence of phenol compound shows a decrease in the level of gallic acid in 7 days to 28 days in this article flavored yogurt.
Here are some important findings for Greek mangaba yogurt. From the radar chart, attribute of fullness, creaminess, and viscosity indicate the strong intensity perceived by the panelists, which is from 5.70 to 6.59. In terms of lightness, this yogurt is less shiny than article yogurt. This is due to the texture appearance. This yogurt color is more intense after store for 7 days rather than 28 days because the phenolic compounds will reduce days by days, causing it reduce the color intensity. Due to the acidity level that provided by the mangaba pulp, mangaba yogurt have greater yogurt aroma than the article yogurt. Lastly, the addition of sucralose doesn't give a bad perception for both yogurt as they demonstrate the similarities in terms of yogurt flavor after store for 7 days or 28 days.
For limitation and room for improvement, our group assumed that this research study has no need for future analysis. This is because based on the aim of this study, the new formulation of Greek yogurt flavored with artichokokos and mangaba are successfully evaluated by the trained panelists for QDA, and meanwhile the acceptance and purchase intention tests are conducted to a reasonable number of regular yogurt consumers to obtain a fair result.
QDA is a behavior sensory evaluation method that monitors a product's sensory attributes using descriptive panels. The panelists will describe how they see the product differences and similarity using their own words. The acceptance test results show that adding sucralose to the yogurt after varying amount of storage had not resulted in the development of any unfavorable perception. The Article Greek yogurt corresponded to the highest concentration of phenolic components. Sucralose was not undetectable when sucrose was substituted in the storage and eating scenarios. Yogurt can be consumed after 28 days of storage because it do not have any chemical preservative.